Welcome to the video. Today I have a good topic. I got an emailed question in about fight IQ and how to understand fight IQ. If you're either in a street fight or if you're doing mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu, whatever, understanding fight IQ and what is fight intelligence. There's some basic concepts that you have to understand when it comes to fighting. I know this because I did a lot of jiu-jitsu, I did a lot of Muay Thai, I've competed in a lot of competitions, and I already have a good idea of these basics when it comes to fight IQ. The disclaimer here is that you don't want to get into any fights. Like, honestly, if you can avoid a fight, try your best to avoid the fight by all means necessary. Don't get into fights. You know, there's a lot of risk going into a fight. You don't know what the other guy has. He might have a gun, he might have a knife, he might have like 5 to 10 guys that are having his back and they're gonna jump your ass at any point. Don't go out and be disrespectful and picking fights with different people. You know, that's the whole point of martial arts. The whole point of martial arts is to be respectful, learn the craft, learn how to fight, and don't use it if you don't really need to. But if you do need to use it, then you have it at your disposal and you're ready to use it for self-defense and to take care of yourself. Whenever you're in the streets, I always say that the best martial arts to know in the streets are boxing and wrestling. Because in most cases, you are going to be in close quarters, and the only type of striking that you can do is going to be boxing, where you throw combinations, which is your jab, your cross, your hook, your uppercut, and maybe you can grapple. You can grab somebody and you can take them to the ground, but you're not going to be doing any jiu-jitsu. You don't want to do any jiu-jitsu because you don't want to go to the ground. If this guy has 3 or 4 friends that can come and stomp you, you don't ever want to do that. You always want to stay on the ground and you want to strike and get out. Picking your fights wisely. Don't just pick a fight just to pick a fight. Pick the right fights that you think you can win. Assess your competitor. See where their strengths and their weaknesses are and capitalize on their weaknesses. So whenever I was doing jiu-jitsu competitions, I would analyze my competitor from head to toe, and I would see what were the advantages that they had. I would also see their matches beforehand, and then I would identify where they were lacking, where I could capitalize on during the matches. And a lot of times that's what led me to victory and actually got me the win. So the same thing goes in the streets. If you have a bully at school and you want to fight this guy, you have to actually analyze him, put your Dragon Ball Z radar and scan this dude's power level, man. Is he a bitch, or does he actually have good traits to his fighting? Maybe he has strength, maybe he's fast, maybe he has agility, he has maybe good boxing, but he lacks in wrestling. Maybe he has good jiu-jitsu, but he lacks in striking. So you have to really analyze this, formulate a plan, and then make an attack. It's all about strategy, formulating a good plan, and actually weighing out your options, seeing where you can capitalize. In fight IQ, it's very important to analyze your opponent and actually do your homework. If you don't have the luxury or the time to do that homework, you have to do a very good job to assess if it's actually worth it to get into a fight or not. You don't really want to get into fights with guys that are so much bigger than you, because it's not gonna be an easy fight. I'll tell you that for sure. It's not gonna be an easy fight. Maybe you can pull something out. You have some good strategies on how to bring him to the ground, then you can maneuver your way and do some ground and pound and subdue him in that way. But it's gonna be a very difficult fight, especially if he's taller and he's stronger than you. He has more mass than you. Even those big fat guys that are strong, man, they're big, they're chubby, but they can fight because they have so much mass on them. So it's still pretty difficult to take these guys on. So you have to be very smart. You have to put that Dragon Ball Z radar, quickly assess if it's worth it or not. If it is, go in confident, attack with boldness. If you assess that it's not the best option, just don't fight. Let it pass, do something else, go somewhere else. Try to subdue that situation as much as possible and let it just die and move on. You don't really have to get into a fight. It's only if you really need to. Weight has a lot to do with a fight. That's why there's a lot of different weight divisions. There's countless of videos on YouTube that show guys that fight other guys that are 2 times bigger than them. They have this Napoleon syndrome where they think that they can take down a guy that's 100, 200 pounds bigger than them, and they think that they're gonna win the fight. That's the biggest misconception that you can have in fighting. You have to understand that weight does have a big role to do in the chances of you winning the fight. If a guy has 100 pounds more than you, he has 100 pounds of advantage and leverage over you. You get a guy that's 200 pounds and then he's a blue belt, same level as another guy that's like 300 pounds, same level in their jiu-jitsu skills. They're both blue belts. They have the same martial art background, same level of experience. The 300 pounder will beat the 200 pounder because he has the leverage of weight. It's going to be very difficult to beat a guy that's a lot heavier than you. And the same thing goes with height. If a guy has more height than you, he still has more leverage than you because he has more reach. He has a bigger reach advantage. So you don't want to just think that because you have a good experience in fighting that you're automatically a good fighter. Weight and height also have a big thing to do with fighting, with understanding if you have an advantage on the fight or not. But these are like the bases of fight IQ. We're gonna jump more into these topics, going further into these videos. But if you're new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe. Do us both a favor and smash that subscribe button. Also, if you made it this far into the video, hit that like button. Until next time, stay strong and keep on conquering. Peace.
You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a fuck, that's what they don't understand. Back again like flu season, I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving, don't give a fuck, I don't care. Did the shit by my lonesome, no wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run, all I really want